How y'all doing?
You know what it is, man? It's your boy Eel Kid.
You know who it is?
And you know I'm rocking with my man Rich TV, right?
Your boy Rich and Invest in
I
Millennial.
gotta introduce to you that new. Let's go. Invest in Millennial. Invest in Millennial. Invest in Millennial. With Rich TV Live. With Rich TV Live. With Rich TV.
How you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing well.
I bet
Happy
you are.
almost Christmas.
I
I'm
bet
doing
you
fantastic.
are. How could
Tesla
you not
is
be?
doing amazing.
I was gonna say, I was like, how could you not be doing well when the stock is going up? Like, since we've done our show, I believe this is our 5th episode. So I believe the stock was at $320 when we started. Now it's over 400, and
Yep, 405.
and literally we've been live, and I predicted that it would go to 1,000. So my goal is for our show to stay live long enough where we can get the stock to
Actually get
1,000,
there.
and we can go back and we can show that clip where we started talking about Tesla, and you started telling the story about how you worked there, and we were talking about the Cybertruck, and here we are a month later, and the stock is up like over 20%.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I was actually up in the Bay Area this whole week. I just got back yesterday, last night. So being there and just seeing the stock continue to grow every single day, especially on Tuesday, like hitting that 400 mark, it was like crazy. All of us were really happy as employees because, you know, we get a lot of hate, not only because we work there, because they're like, oh, you're going to lose your job soon, or because Tesla and Elon just very controversial. But we were just so happy to see that we're actually moving forward and that we're doing these things. And you know, Elon predicted, and Elon got a lot of heat because he said that Tesla will reach 420, and I'm sure it's going to definitely surpass that. So when it hits 420, we're going to be celebrating for sure.
I follow Elon on Twitter. I follow
Yeah.
Elon on Instagram. He is hilarious.
Yes, he doesn't give two
No,
shits.
he does not care about anybody. I remember he put a. Did you see the one about the bankrupt where he looked like he was a bum holding a bankrupt sign?
He's crazy.
And I was like, I love this guy. He's mocking
Yeah.
everybody who was saying that his company was going to go bankrupt, and he's
Yeah.
changing the world.
He is.
Changing the world right in front of our eyes. People are going to be driving around in tanks. I see this Instagram of his Cybertruck and bullets hitting the window and bouncing off the window. I'm like, who the hell is not going to want to ride around in a freaking tank? Okay?
And people just love him, and that's why, because he has like this charisma, this personality, people are gonna automatically just like love his products. Like it's just like it's like a cult, to be honest with you, you know?
Oh yeah. It totally
Yeah.
is a cult, and it's a cult, but a good cult. I call it
A good one.
I call it a culture. A culture. He's created a culture, and people are rallying around it. People are rallying around him, and they're rallying around it, and they're ordering the Teslas, and they're going to continue to. And I know there's Teslas everywhere here in Canada. I know, especially here in Vancouver. I know where you are in Cali. They're everywhere too.
Everywhere.
And they're going to
Yeah.
continue to be. And he's leading the charge, not just with Tesla, but also with SpaceX.
That is SpaceX, which is crazy.
Like, what the hell is up with that? Like,
Yeah, like,
what is he doing?
soon we're gonna be able to go up there. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
he's
possible,
giving
but-
tours to the freaking Mars.
Yeah.
Tours to Mars. Tours to the moon. Like, hey guys,
Interesting.
want to go to the moon? Come on, let's go. Let's do a little tour. You want to see a cool tour? Let's go to, like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just
Nuts.
has all these amazing like visions for what we can do as humanity, and he's literally bringing them to life, which is something that not a lot of people are able. Like, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of like sacrifice. Like we talked about his personal life last show, but it's the reality is he's trying to change humanity and like trying to propel us like in the future and trying helping us to stay up with like AI, like all these different crazy shit that's gonna happen like in the future. He's trying for a race to actually like excel, you know? And it's crazy to see that he's actually making all this shit happen.
He's making so much happen. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. I'm almost like what's the word? What is it when you're like a super fan of someone?
You're
Fanboy.
fangirling?
I'm a fanboy.
I was
I'm
saying
fanboy. Honestly, I'm fanboying. I'm a fanboy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fanboy.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine.
I'm a fanboy of Elon Musk. I just respect people that are willing to risk everything to change the world. I just think that that is so powerful because we are only a little bit of light in this lifetime that we have. The average male is 71 years. The average female is 79 years. This is the average global, okay? On average, around that number. We only have this much light. When he's gone, people are going to remember him.
Exactly.
So he's going to actually make a little difference or maybe
legacy.
a big difference in the world and have his name in the history books in that 70, 80 years he gets, or maybe 100, who knows, max. He's going to be able to leave an imprint. He's going to leave a legacy. He's going to leave a mark. People are going to be driving around his cars. People are going to be going to tours to outer space because of Elon Musk. That is mind-boggling.
Crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
And you get to work there? I think that's amazing. I think that's amazing. Our very
I'm
own...
going to answer a question. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Infinite possibilities ask how much are the tours. That hasn't been even established, but I know it's going to happen in the future. So whenever that happens, it's going to be all over the news for sure.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a lot of interesting things that are going to be happening with Elon Musk. And he's become like must-see TV. And I think that the other guy that we need to talk about, who is really must-see TV on a global scale, Trump. What do you think about this impeachment? The third president in American history that has been impeached, and they did it a week before Christmas. Merry Christmas, Mr. President.
Yeah. Well, I know he's not happy about it. I was watching CNN while this whole thing unfolded, like right after work, and he saw it coming, and you could see his persona. Like I don't want to get too political because we don't want to like be on. I think what he's doing for the economy is amazing. I mean, it's helping all of us. He's doing really, really well. But as a person, there are certain things that I'm not too a fan of, and I think he said just some really crazy and mean things to people who voted for impeachment to take place. And I think as a politician, you have to still be tactful in the way you present things, and you shouldn't act like a little kid, like a child. And that's what President Trump does. He acts like a child when things don't go his way. And that's something we've seen for the past three and a half years. If something doesn't go his way, he throws a tantrum. He goes and blasts people on Twitter, which is like as an American myself, I find that like embarrassing to know that we have a president like that. I find that embarrassing.
I think it's great. Honestly, I think it's great. I mean, I'm not American, so I mean, that's obviously maybe that's one of the reasons, but I think it's great because it allows the fake news to not really be able to get a word in with Mr. Trump because Mr. Trump is just constantly blasting. So what he's doing, he's trying to trigger the public to see his side of things before the fake news can get out there and put their spin on stuff. This is what he's trying to do based on the power of social media. He's saying, okay, I know you're going to spin everything I do and everything I say, so let me just get it out there first before you have a chance to twist it up and spin it up and spit it out to your, talking heads, right?
Things
and I'm not agreeing with everything he does. I'm just saying that, he's in a tough place, right? He's in a tough place. A lot of people like take shots at Trump. Like he gets shots taken at him all day long, right? He gets more shots taken at him than anybody. I mean, the man just got impeached by his own government a week before Christmas.
Kind of, for the things that he did, like I think he abused his power. He really did, and I don't think that that's something that should be tolerated in the U.S. And I think the Democrats in the House, like they didn't want this to happen, even though they don't agree with Trump. But because he did overstep those boundaries and that line took it, like he's trying to benefit himself at the end of the day, and like that's not, that's not cool. I mean, that's just maybe it's just because I'm not.
But
Trump fan.
But you realize that like at a highest level, every single major president or government politician or whatever, high level businessman, they all bend the rules a little bit. I mean, this is the advantage of being at that level. I mean, he's not the only one. Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
He's just
So,
more outspoken, I guess, and just
so I mean, that's what I mean. Like, is he really doing anything different than what Bill Clinton did or what Nixon did? And they got impeached. But,
yeah.
you
Well,
know what
the
I mean?
reality
Like,
is, like, he's impeached, but he's not going to leave the office. Like, the Senate is not going to impeach. Like, they're not going to finalize this. So he's still going to be president. He's still going to be around. He could run for re-election. He could get re-elected again in 2020. So for the economy's sake, it's going to continue doing really well. When it comes to politics, that's a completely different story. But the reality is, he's still going to be, the president. He's just going to have that on his record that he was impeached by the House.
it's, well, I just think it's a lot of stress to put on your president of your country. If you really care about the country being great, do you really think that this is going to make the country great, having the president impeached? This is what I'm trying to say. Like, how does that really help the economy? How does that really help the country? This is what I'm trying to understand. Like, a lot of people
Well,
don't like our prime minister either. And he was walking around like, did you see what our prime minister did? He's like legitimately a racist. I mean, he was walking around with a black face and he was trying to explain that. And I'm like, how do you explain that? Like, who does that? And this is our prime minister. So you want to talk about guys, like, they all have these skeletons. And the thing is, if you're the president, they're going to look really, really deep into your skeletons. Everybody has skeletons. I don't care who you are, okay? If you look deep enough, you will find something in almost everybody. So it's like when you're the president and you have the entire world watching and you're the most polarizing figure in the world and you're a TV star and you're a business tycoon, of course you're going to have everyone trying to pull you down. And you're the president of America. So the rest of the world is already trying to pull you down. And now you got your own government and they're trying to pull you down. Do you understand what this guy must feel like? I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's rough, man.
Like that, but that's what he's been
rough.
on TV with his shows. Like he's.
But this
been
is
under
different.
that
This is
light,
this
you
is
know?
different. This is like getting your entire world crumbling around you by
At
your
the
own
same time,
government.
I do want to say one thing. Even while this whole impeachment thing was taking place, we saw that the market didn't really care. Like the market was not afraid. The stock,
No.
the market kept going up. So I feel like from that point of view, I feel like President Trump is getting that support, that the fact that the economy is still strong, even after he's impeached, like nothing has happened when it comes to the market. So that's also like that's I guess good for him, and he feels like okay, well at least I am keeping the economy up still, regardless if I'm impeached. So I feel like it's not really going to affect him long term. I think he'll probably get over the fact that he was impeached by the House. He'll still continue to do all these things that he's doing for the economy and all these other things that he's trying to do like abroad. So I honestly don't think like he'll get over it. Probably he's just like upset right now. But he's still gonna. I honestly that's what I think. Like he's just
It's
gonna get over
Christmas.
it.
It's Christmas. Like, he's gonna be at the Christmas table talking to his kids and be like, Ivanka, what do you think? I'm getting impeached. She'll be like, yeah, we knew it was coming. I can imagine them sitting there talking about it at Christmas dinner. Could you imagine that dinner? And then you got Trump Jr. and you got all these guys, and they're all talking about, Dad, they all hate you. But some of them love you, but a lot of them hate you, Dad.
Like half of the country wants him gone.
Half of them love you and half of them hate you. If they're in the stock market, they love you. If they're not in the stock market, they hate you, right?
Yeah.
Most of them don't understand you. So yeah, it's crazy, but it's definitely must-see TV. It's definitely something to talk about. He's definitely making history consistently for good and bad reasons. Speaking on that, let's actually change gears for a second. What about True Leave? I want to know what you think. They got short report. So
I think for me, I'm trying to get into True Leave, so I wanted to actually go a little bit down so I can buy in at an attractive price. But I think, I guess, like you mentioned, having that, True Leave and ACB, I think there were analysts this week that really just attacked these particular companies, and you saw now it's like True Leave is down almost 2%. So it's down to $10.41 US. So and it's one of the companies that's doing the best when it comes to profitability. So I don't know why exactly this analyst, and I didn't read the actual article. Why? What are the targeting points? Like, what is he?
Oh,
Why is he attacking
it's
True Leave?
bad.
Do you know? Can you
Oh
can you
yeah,
share
it's
some of that?
bad. It's ugly. So, okay, so the backstory of this is Kim Rivers is the CEO of Trulieve, the
Yeah.
most profitable cannabis company out of this entire new sector to really get started. Trulieve has passed everyone and is doing like numbers that nobody's even close to as far as
Yeah.
profitability. They've changed the game. They've destroyed everybody. Like nobody's even close. They're like double, more than double the second place company.
Yeah.
So obviously, the shorters want to go after the king. They want to go after the queen. They want to cut off their heads. So they're like, okay, let's go after Trulieve. Now, Trulieve, Kim Rivers' husband, has been subpoenaed by the FBI because of his involvement in crime. And he's got all kinds of charges. Now, he's not directly involved in the company, but what they're trying to state in this article is that it's actually his company and he's using his wife as a front. And they name her husband in the article, which I found really disgusting. And I felt like it was a hit below the belt. And remember, I was telling you about skeletons in the closet. They're opening up all these skeletons in the closet and they're dropping it out for their own personal benefit because this short report, if you go to their website, they actually talk about the fact that in the short report that they are shorting the stock and they will benefit from the stock going down. In their report, they're blunt with it that we are shorting the stock and we will benefit from the stock going down. So right away, they've got an incentive to air out the dirty laundry. Then they go out in the report and say that because they're growing outdoors, they don't believe, based on the weather conditions, that they can grow good quality product. So then they took a shot on their product, saying that they're growing poor quality cannabis, which I don't know if that's true or not, but that was another shot. So they took a shot at their product that they're creating, which is making them more profitable than anybody else. Dirty, dirty shot below the belt. Then they took another shot opening up Kim Rivers' husband's past, which has nothing to do with Kim Rivers and her company because they're not actually affiliated, even though they're saying they are affiliated. Yeah. Then they said that there's third-party companies that have been funding Trulieve that have never actually done any business. So they were just opened they were only open for the purpose of funding Trulieve. And they believe that those companies are being funded by her husband. So they're connecting all the dots, and it was just so bad. It was so bad. Oh, it was so bad. And I was reading, it was like 26 pages, and I was reading, and I was like, oh my God, these guys.
Well, do you believe it? What are your thoughts? What do you think? What do you think?
I think that some of it is true. I think some of it is exaggerated. For the purpose of trying to make the company look bad so the stock goes down so that these guys benefit on a short. I just don't like the fact that people think it's okay to drag other people down in the mud for their own personal benefit. Yeah. I just don't like that because you're not just dragging down that company. You're also dragging down all the shareholders who've invested in that company. And now you're screwing everybody over for your own personal gain and for your own personal benefit. And I think it's just disgusting. I don't know why it's allowed. I don't know why it's illegal. I don't know why people are allowed to do this. But apparently this is what people want to do. This is how they make a living. They've made billions doing it. And now they've went and attacked Trulieve, which is the number one company in North America as far as profitability.
It's crazy.
So yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. But I'm not saying it's not true because I don't know. I don't have any evidence. I'm not investigating it. I'm just an investor. As an investor who wants to buy the stock, I think it could create a buying opportunity.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think.
Would you buy it? Would you buy it knowing there's a short report though?
I would do it, but as a speculative position. Like I would be comfortable investing a certain amount of money in it, and if I lose it, I lose it. Like that's the same thing that I did with Neo, which is a stock that I've already like pretty much lost more than half of my money there. So like I would, but as a speculative position, just like I've done with ACB and Alethea, because like I mentioned in previous episodes, like I'm someone who's starting to invest in the cannabis sector. I'm not like heavily invested in it. So everything that I have is kind of like a speculative position. And I just hope that it does continue to go up. So that's what I would do, just to test the waters.
So, okay, so we've talked about Trump, we've talked about True Leave. There's been a lot of other things. Now, I've talked about a few different companies recently that have done extremely well. One of them is called Meta. Have you heard of Meta Growth?
You've mentioned it in the show, but I haven't looked into it.
Okay, so Meta Growth is a company that is really into retail stores, retail chains, and I believe that they are going to do extremely well. We started talking about them at I started talking about them at 17 cents, and this week they hit 35 cents. So literally in 2 weeks they went up over 100%. So I just want to make sure that everybody puts them on their watch list, puts them on their radar. It's
Yeah.
funny because I talked about them at 17 cents, and then when they got to 22 cents, a member that follows me on Facebook messaged me and says, "Rich, stop telling people to buy Meta Growth, Rich." And
Yeah.
I said, "Why?" And he said, "Oh, because it's gonna go down. They're not making any money." And I'm like, "Well, that's your opinion. I think it's gonna go higher.
Yeah.
That's why I made the video." And then he goes, "Well, no, I bought the stock when you did the video and I sold it." I said, "Okay, so why are you telling me?" Oh,
Not to
what?
make it. Yeah.
So you're telling me not to? I made a video. You bought it. You sold it. Now you're
Yeah.
telling me not to talk about it anymore because you sold it? What? What?
That's
What? So
a little selfish.
listen, bro. Like, it's all good. Like,
Yeah.
do what you want. You want to set up your own channel? Set up your own channel. I still think it's going higher. Clearly, I
Yeah.
was right, and it went to 35 cents. Now, when I research back to him, he's like, "Oh yeah, you were right." I'm like,
Yeah.
you so quickly were telling me, "Rich, don't be telling people to buy that stock. It's gonna go down, Rich." And then as soon as it goes up, and I call you out and be like, "Yo, bro, what happened? I was right."
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, you're right." So that's all you have to say? Like, I'm
That's
confused. Like, you were so adamant about me making a mistake, and your people are gonna lose, Rich, and now they won. "Oh yeah, you're right." That's all I get. So I mean, it just has to show you, like, when you're right, people are like, "Yeah, yeah," but when you're wrong, they're like, "Oh my God, Rich TV Live was wrong. Rich TV Live was wrong. Everybody, look, he was wrong." But when I'm right, it's like, "Yeah, yeah, you're right.
that's what happens when you're
Yeah,
in
you
the
were right. Yeah, yeah, Meta went up 100% in 2 weeks. Yeah, you're right. So what?"
yeah. And that's what happens when you're in this space like here on YouTube and you're like giving people's opinion. Like people are gonna attack you regardless, are gonna try and find something to attack you and put you down. But you just like at the end of the day, the information that we share, it's more like opinion. Like no one is saying go buy this right now. Like you have to go buy it. I think we're just trying to bring value, and we're all investors here, and we don't know what's gonna happen in the market. That's the reality.
Yeah, I mean, our show is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. We want to teach you about investing. We want to teach you about how to make money. We want to talk to you about different things that you can do to make money. At the end of the day, if you want to learn more, you're going to have to pay for it. It's like that in any business. Like, if you want to learn more about investing, you're going to have to pay for it because nobody's giving away their picks for free.
Yeah.
Nobody. I've been doing it for 3 years, but even those days are over. That's not going to be
Yeah.
happening soon. So when I'm giving away free picks like Meta, and in 2 weeks they go up 100%, I always say this: show me one other person doing it. Show me one. And I've also done this too publicly. I said, I will go head to head with any other stock picker on the world. You make a pick, I'll make a pick, and we'll see who wins.
Yeah.
Hey, so
I do
far
want to.
on our show, we've talked about certain picks already, and a lot of
Yeah.
those picks have already done well. One of them is Tesla.
Yeah.
Another one is Apple. And I've been telling you guys there will be a market melt up. Have I been correct?
Yep. The market is definitely doing really well.
Let's talk about it.
But
Don't you have an article about that?
yes, I do.
Let's talk about that.
So on Tuesday, which was the day when we had like record numbers for the market, essentially the Dow climbed 31.27 points, which is 0.11%. And then the S&P 500 gained 0.3%. So it ended at an all-time high of $3,192.52. So you can see that this was right before impeachment. So going back to President Trump, the market is not was not afraid of this happening. The market was not freaking out about Trump getting impeached. It was actually doing really well. Tesla was doing really well as well. So like I think that going into and if we go back to episode 3, Rich at the beginning of the show, Rich asked me, "Do you think that the stock market is going to go down?" And I said, "I think it's going to start to slow down." That was what I said at the beginning of the show, and I was wrong. Clearly, we're about to end the new 2019 and enter 2020, and I feel like we're actually going to enter 2020 on a strong note now. Just seeing these patterns. I think that it might slow down a little bit going into like the new election, but I feel like a lot of the stocks that I would be interested in buying, I'm not personally buying right now because they're pretty high, and so my buying opportunity has kind of diminished, and I'm actually kind of focusing more on 5G. And I know Rich mentioned that too. Like he mentioned Nokia and Ericsson; those are like 5G stocks that I'm planning on loading up right now while the price is actually attractive for me. But yeah, I think overall the market is doing really well, and it has responded well to everything that's happening in the political world. And I think it's yeah, I think it's not gonna be what happened in 2018 where that's when I started investing like a lot of money. Right around December, the stocks started to go down, and then in January, I bought Apple at 143. I bought Microsoft at like 90 something dollars. So like that's where I was able to really cash in on the profits that I have now because it was literally going down, which is the complete opposite of what's happening this year. I think it's just going to continue going up, um, which is great. I mean, it's a good sign.
It's a market melt up. It is
Yeah,
what I called it. It's a market melt up. Okay.
yeah.
Do you know how many days in a row we've had green in the big markets?
How many days?
10.
I don't know.
10.
10 days.
10 green days in a row. 10.
That's crazy.
So every day
That's
we
nice.
have new record highs for 10
Yeah.
days in a row. And who called
Yeah.
it? And who called it? Your boy called it. So while everybody's calling recession, yield curve, yield curve, yield curve, recession, fears, I was sitting here laughing, going, what recession? There's $1 million houses all around me. What recession? If there was a recession, people wouldn't be buying $1 million homes.
Right.
They're buying $1 million homes. I know in Cali, they're buying $1 million homes all over the
Yeah.
place. Yeah, maybe the $10 million homes are going down to 5. So what? I don't really
Big
care.
deal.
Big deal, exactly. That's really, really rich people problems. But what about the average person? The average
Yeah.
person still can't afford to live. So
Yeah.
I know there is no recession yet because even though they can't afford to live, we all still live in. So the recession is coming. It just isn't coming yet. It isn't coming yet. There's going to be another huge explosion in 2020 because we have an election coming. And there's something called quantitative easing. And they're pumping up the markets, man. The Federal Reserve Bank is printing money. They're taking that money and they're putting it into the stock market, folks. And that's why the prices keep going up. And all the market makers and institutions, they're following it on the way up. And all the real money and all the investors are going to quickly and slowly but surely put all their money into the markets. People like you and me are going to start riding this wave up because
Yeah.
you say right now, I'm not going to buy, it's too high. But what are you going to do when it goes higher and then higher and then
I'm
higher?
gonna be like, man, I should have done it.
And then you're going to
And then
do
I'm gonna
it.
get in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And then what's going to happen? It's going to
just
go
like
so high.
psychology.
And then when it gets to the point where it's just stupid, that's when we have to cash out.
Yeah.
That's why right now I'm selling all my real estate because it's stupid. So I'm just cashing everything out. I'm going to cash out and stay in cash. And I'm just going to wait for the crash. I'm going to wait for the crash. I'm chilling. I'll wait for the crash. And I won't buy no more real estate in Canada until the crash. And then when the crash hits, then I'm buying. Until then,
That's the same situation here in the US. We're like trying, like at least I feel like amongst millennials, like people in their 20s, like we're trying to own something, but everything's so expensive.
you can't.
We're like, shit, I guess we have to keep renting.
Yeah, and
You know, so
and now renting is becoming unaffordable. So now what's happening is people have to like share rental spaces
yeah,
because they can't even afford it. Like it's getting crazy. It's actually a major problem. I've seen the homelessness in California. It's nuts.
bad.
Oh,
Bad.
it's bad. It's like
Steep rentals, all
kilometers.
of these-
It's
yeah,
kilometers of people that are living in tents with their cars and stuff. Like they can't afford the
that's
housing.
in a centralized location. Like you're starting to see like Beverly Hills, like all these nicer areas. Like there's a homeless issue there too, and like all these like ritzy areas, they're starting to like move into these cities because it's just overpopulated with unfortunately homeless people. And it's just it's the rent out here in California specifically is nuts. Like it's crazy how much we pay to just get an apartment. But
No, I know.
that's a completely different story.
No, I know. But that is the same problem that we're having in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And Vancouver is the most expensive place in Canada. So you don't have to live here. So that's where I think a lot of people are going to move out because they just can't physically afford it. And they're going to go to the east coast of Canada where instead of paying like $2,200 for like a 3-bedroom townhouse for rent, a house is like $3,000 a month for a small little house now. Who can afford that for rent? And then meanwhile on the east coast of Canada, you could get a 3-bedroom house for like $1,000 a month. So it's
No
like,
way.
yeah.
That's
So
insane.
like from one part of the country to the other part, it's like two different worlds,
Yeah.
right? And like the average home in Vancouver is $1 million. Well, the average home in a place like Windsor is like 150,000, or a place like Halifax is like 250 to 300,000. You know, it's a fraction of what it is in Vancouver. So the cost of living is way lower, right? But, you know, you're not going to get the nicer weather. We don't get snow here. So there's a lot of advantages of that. We got the ocean, we got the mountains, we get
Same
better
here in
weather.
California. Everyone wants to be in California. We have the beaches, we have
Exactly.
the beautiful people, we have Hollywood, we have Beverly
Exactly.
Hills. They all want to like live that lifestyle, but the reality is that you have to, if you want to live that LA lifestyle, you have to be like hella rich. Like not everyone out here is driving a Bentley and like has a home in Beverly Hills. We live comfortably, but it's not that hype that people see that are not from the US, you know? Or are from different parts of the U.S. Like that's not the reality of LA. Like
Well,
it's
yeah, because
expensive out
they're
here.
seeing this
It's fucking
they're
yeah,
seeing the celebrities. So the
yeah,
celebrities are partying it up,
yeah,
flossing,
yeah.
spending money, living in crazy houses. But then what about everybody else? Not everybody's a celebrity. Not everybody's flossing with, 10 million in their checking account. So this is what I'm trying to say. Like, people see the celebrities, but what about everybody else?
Yeah.
Everybody else is the 99.9%. And
Right.
they're not living like that. They're not.
Yeah.
So the realistically is I've heard a statistic that the average person doesn't have enough savings. If they were to go like 3 months without working,
Yeah.
they'd be done. Like the average person doesn't have 3 months of savings. Just think
There's
about
also
that.
statistics that says people are not going to be able to retire without like any funds because
Yeah.
people don't even like they're not even starting like their IRAs accounts. I'm not sure how you call them in Canada, but like out here we call it 401k or a Roth IRA or a SEP IRA. Like people like in millennials now are starting to finally like try and put money away, but like older generations like they don't have anything saved. So when they retire, they're just gonna be they're just gonna expect that social security check, which is like nothing. It's literally like pennies, and like there's gonna be this really big issue when some of these folks start getting older because they don't have money. Like where are they gonna live? Like what's gonna happen with them? And it's just crazy to know that there's such a big divide in the U.S. and maybe in other parts like Canada. Like it's just between the wealthy, the average, and the poor. Like it's just like it's completely like it's crazy. It's just nuts. The way that the rich continue to get richer, which and the poor are just like they find it so hard to just be afloat and live life. It's kind of sad to see that.
Like give you an example of some of these cannabis companies. Someone made a comment that the CEO of MedMen, and MedMen's been one of the worst performing stocks in 2019 in the cannabis sector in America. It's been just crushed, right? From $4 under $1. And the CEO made $8.8 million in 2019. Think he cares?
No,
He doesn't.
he's balling.
He's
He doesn't
balling.
care. He
He
made his
doesn't.
money.
Exactly. So he doesn't care
Yeah.
what the stock does. So this is the thing a lot of people really don't get. I think they made a comment like the top 50 CEOs in Canada. Do you know what the average salary is? It's crazy. It's nuts.
What is it? What's the average?
Over 50 million a year.
Wow.
It's like the divide of power from the top to the bottom is so ridiculous. Like, why not take $1 million for 50 different people instead of give 50 million to one guy?
Person. Yeah.
One guy gets 50 million a year, and there's this huge divide all the way down between that one guy and everybody else in the company. This is the problem. It's like one guy gets it all and everybody else gets the scraps.
Yeah.
And
I
if
do
you
want
try
to
to change
comment.
the world and you try to change that, you get ridiculed, you get laughed at, you get mocked, like the way they
Yeah,
mocked Elon Musk, who's laughing now.
exactly. I do want to answer someone on the comments. I don't know how to say Avin Works, aka GM66. So he's kind of going on a little debate with us, saying that Social Security is not pennies. So the reality is it's not pennies, but like you can't live a comfortable life with off Social Security. That's the reality. Do you guys have pensions in Vancouver or Canada? How do you guys call it? Like, is it social? How do you call this? Like when people enter a certain age, like do they get support from the government? Like how
Yeah,
what's that term?
it's a pension, same
A
thing.
pension?
I
Okay, so
honestly
same
don't
thing. So
know like what it is or how much it is. I believe my parents are probably around that time, and I don't know. I think it's probably like between 600 to $1,000 a month.
okay,
It's nothing
so
big. Like
it's nothing big.
you
Yeah.
can't
So like to answer
survive. Like you
your
can't.
question exactly, like you can't. You're just literally like living to like you can't do anything. Like so to answer your question or to like comment on what you just said, um, let's be real here. You won't be able to travel with the Social Security money. You're not going to be able to really like live your best life as you enter your retirement age. So it is kind of like pennies worth. So you need some other type of um, funds, like either a 401k or a Roth IRA, to really support you in an elderly like stage for you to actually do fun things. So that's the reality. It is kind of pennies worth. So I'm not trying to argue with you, but I'm just saying like let's be real now. Especially
It
with
does
the
help though. It
population that
does
we have
help
in the
because
U.S.,
typically,
that money is going to continue going down. Like the money that are the current older folks are getting now is not going to be the same money that we're going to get as millennials as we get older. So it's just going to continue depleting. That's the reality.
yeah, I think that like it helps. Like when you get
Yeah.
older, you don't want to work, so you're not spending money going to work. You're not spending all that, extra time doing those things. So if you do want to retire, the whole goal would be by that time, hopefully your house is paid off. You don't have
Yeah.
all these expenses, right? You
Right.
keep your bills low, and then that additional money hopefully
Well,
can help
yeah.
you survive. That's the whole concept here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we live in a society where most people will never pay their homes off. By the time you pay your home off, you've paid off three homes. And it takes way more than 25 years now to pay off a home because the homes are so expensive. But
Yeah.
like 20, 30 years ago, I mean, if you were to look at the prices of homes 20, 30 years ago to now, it's
Nothing.
shocking. It's
Yeah.
shocking. Like they've gone up like 10x.
Yeah.
Like literally, like in 1970, you could have bought a home here for 100 grand. That's now worth over $1 million. Literally, since 1970, well, 50 years, I guess. 40 years, 40, 50 years. From 1970, 1980 to now, houses that were 100 grand are worth $1 million. So the entire market has gone up 1,000%. That's crazy. Like that's nuts.
And
So,
also, let's talk about student loans, okay? Because that's a reality. Like, people now, and especially as a millennial, like, I was fortunate that I didn't graduate with student loans from UCLA, but the reality is that a lot of folks are going to graduate with either a graduate degree student loan or undergraduate degree student loans, and then they're going to buy a home, they're going to buy a car, they're going to have a family, they're going to have all these expenses. So when they enter, like, retirement age, it's going to be rough if you
oh
don't
yeah.
have other funds like a 401k or just other like a stocks or something. Like if you haven't invested your money for it to work for you in the meantime, it is going to be tough if you just depend on your social security money. That's the reality, especially with how crazy everything is now of expensive, especially with homes and education. It's just nuts. It's not what it used to be 30, 40 years ago or more, to be honest. So that's just
It-
my opinion. I know
it-
he's arguing with me, saying that he wouldn't be on the watching this live if he earned $600 of Social Security. Well, that's great that you have the money that you have now, but if the reality is it's not going to be the same when I get old. When I get old, that's not going to be available because things are so expensive now. When
yeah.
you were living, it was a different time. Things were much cheaper than it is now.
I think that we're living in a crazy world. It's a crazy time. The
Yeah.
the people that are living in third world live off of what we waste. Like we would
Yeah.
waste about $100 a week, I would say, all of us at least on nonsense,
Yeah.
candy, junk food, cigarettes, stupid shit that we don't need. Right? We all do it.
Yeah.
And everybody does it. Oh, you're at the gas station. You pick up a bag of chips. You pick up this, that. $100 just wasted every week. Everybody does that.
And
That's
it's
what,
so easy to do it.
and that's what
for
they
consumers.
work. That's what they work their entire life for every week. Is that same $100, and they support their entire family with that money. So they support their families with the amount of money that we waste. So when you really think about that, you think about what you could technically do if you were living in third world. With first world mentality and waste, if you were to take those resources and go to third world, what could you do? You could change that third world. You could essentially make that third world better. You could live like a king in the third world with a fraction of the money that we waste in first world.
Yeah.
Like
You were
here,
mentioning like in the Dominican Republic, like you have this amazing, beautiful home. That's something that would not be possible for you to maybe have. It would be much harder in Canada or in the US to have that home that you have, that villa. Like it's just completely different the way things work in the US and abroad in like third world countries. It's crazy.
yeah, I think that a lot of people don't understand. They think that we have it good in North America, and we do, but we also have it
There's a lot of
bad.
opportunities, but
We
it's
also
hard.
we also have it bad. Like, are we really living our best life, or are those people in the Dominican Republic who have no credit cards, which means they have no debt, they have no student loans, they have no mortgages, so they have none of this stress that everyone else is living with. All this stress in North America: student loans, credit cards, lines of credits, mortgages, payments, phone bills, hydro bills, gas bills, cable bills, bills. So at the end of the month, you see this fucking stack, right? It's like, oh, there's the stack. Let me take all the money I make again and let's just spend it all. And then meanwhile, in other countries, they don't have cable bills because they don't watch TV. Like, it's just different, And then you look at these people, and what do they do for entertainment? We don't know what to do. So we go and we spend more money to go to a baseball game, to go to a football game, to go to a hockey game, to watch a UFC. We do all this. We spend money. We spend. Meanwhile, what do? They walk out of their house. They go to the beach. They hang out at the beach with their friends. Cost them nothing.
Yeah.
They got none of the stress. They're at the
More
beach every day.
simplicity.
They got none of the stress. They're at the beach every day. They got nice tans. They're in the sun. They're living good. So who's really living better? They all wish they had what we had. But then when I show them Canada and I show them the pictures, they're like, yeah, no, I'll stay here. That's literally what they say. Because it's paradise.
Yeah.
Their country's paradise. Right? And then you come here and it gets cold and it rains and it's all these bills and everybody's in a rush and everyone's got road rage and it's all this crazy traffic. And then you go over there and everyone's just like chill.
Chilling. Yeah.
Everyone's
exactly.
chilling.
It's funny, yeah. Like when I travel, like I come, like as soon as I land to the airport at LAX, I'm like, fuck, I'm back to this shit. Like it's crazy. Like I'm back home, but like I'm like, man, I wish I was still like somewhere else because you can feel like that people are on edge all the time. Like go. I gotta get here. I gotta do this. I gotta go to work. It's like, and when you're traveling, like I've been to Colombia, I've been to all these places in South America, and they're all like having a great time and then enjoying the life that they have with so little. And it's so nice to see that because I think as people who live in North America, we're always trying to get more. Like,
Yes.
what's the next thing? Like, what's the next car I'm gonna get, or what's the next bag I'm gonna get, or like, how can I elevate myself? And you're always thinking of like ways to look and feel great and like do all these things that cost a lot of money sometimes. And it's like some people do so much with so little, and I think we just get so caught up with all the things that we can have being in such an amazing country and all these opportunities that we have. But we're in reality, sometimes we're like we overdo it. We don't need all these like fancy things. Yes, it's good to pamper ourselves and to live a great life here, but the more we get, the more we want. It's just like we don't stop. We just continue going. That's just what I see. I don't
We're
know.
the
That's
biggest
my
we're the
opinion.
biggest wasters and consumers in the world. We waste more food with all the fast food. They waste so much. We could be feeding all the poor, all the struggling, all the countries with the amount of waste that we have from all the fast food joints and all the places. We just throw away food. We throw away money. We throw away all kinds of stuff. We throw away TVs. We throw away clothes. We throw away everything. We don't even care. We just burn money here. And in other countries, they would kill for that money. So this is what I'm trying
Exactly.
to say. Like I enjoy going to third world. I enjoy going to other worlds. Even
You
when I go
see
to Portugal.
perspective. Like
Even when I
your
go to
perspective
Portugal, it's the
changes.
same thing. I have a lot of family there. They always say the same thing. I'm always like, hey, how's it going? And everyone's like, oh, it's a struggle. Like, okay, but how are you? And oh, I'm great, you know, but it's a struggle. Why is it a struggle? There's no jobs. Like in Portugal, there's no jobs, right? So it's the same thing. There's the rich, the people that have jobs, they're considered rich, and then everybody else. And they're still happy. And they'll say to me, you know, my family, when I talk to them, they're like, you know, Rich, you know, maybe we don't have much, but we're actually happy. Are you happy?
Yeah.
They ask me, they're like, are you happy? And I'm like, no, straight up, I'm not.
Yeah.
And they're like, why? I go, because I don't want to be here. You know, I want to be
Yeah.
where you are. I want to be at the beach, chilling, sipping on a margarita. That's my idea of happy.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. That's my idea of happy. That isn't here, right?
Yeah.
But
Do you speak Portuguese, by the way? I think someone just
no,
does something in Portuguese.
no, very
Eu
little,
posso falar português,
very
but
little.
it's like Português brasileiro. I
Oh,
can speak
nice.
Portuguese, but Brazilian one because I like studied out there. But yeah,
Nice. Yeah, you probably speak more than me. But no, I don't like if I'm thrown in there and I'm forced to speak Spanish, like when I go to the DR, I speak Spanish, right? When I'm in Portugal, I'll speak Portuguese because I'm forced to. But if I'm
yeah,
not forced to, I'm speaking English. My thing to everyone is listen, man, my English is good. So
yeah,
your Portuguese is good, your Spanish is good, my English is good. So you teach me
yeah.
Portuguese and Spanish, I'll teach you English. Everybody has a
Perfect,
role,
perfect.
right? Everybody has a
Yeah.
role. I can't fill my head up with all that stuff, man. It's too complicated. It seems like
Yeah.
too much work for me. You had another article. Let's talk about that
Let's
one.
see. Wait, before I transition, like I really want to answer this guy's like I'm not trying to like if you look at the comments, like I'm not trying to start something with you, man. I'm just saying the reality of the situation is like you are retiring in a different time than I will be retiring, that Rick will be retiring. The reality is funds for retirement in the US, if you Google it, you'll see that we're running out of like these opportunities. So when I retire, if I don't have my 401k in place, my Roth IRA, whatever it is, my Tesla stock, my current, like if I don't have something else besides my social security that I'm like, if I don't invest my money in different ways, I can't rely just on social security. That's the reality because funds are depleting. So I'm not trying to put you down or I'm trying to say that you didn't like have a good job. I'm just saying what you're living now is going to be different than when I retire 50 years from now, 40 years from now, whenever it is that I retire. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like think about that. So I'm not trying to argue with you, man. Seriously.
Yeah, I don't think I don't
Wait,
think I don't think you're the type of person that wants to argue with anybody. So
yeah, I'm just trying to like it's the reality. Like the reality situation is things are gonna change when I get older, when Rich gets older, when younger people get older. Social Security might not even be a thing anymore.
yeah,
That's
that's
what
what
I'm
I've
trying to
heard. I've
say.
heard that it's not even gonna exist. So
Yeah.
a lot of baby
So that's
boomers are
why I
getting the last bit of
that's why
money.
I have my 401k with Tesla. That's why I have my Roth IRA because I don't want to rely on something that might not even exist. So yeah, there you go. The other article. Let's go. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's go.
Um, we were talking about where we you know that someone said that ACB was going to go down to zero. That was like another highlight.
Yes.
If you want to talk about that.
But what about
Or
the
actually
article? What about
the
the
interchange
article?
one.
No,
The
what about
NFL guy.
yeah, the our NFL guy who got like who was
Yeah.
like looked at weird because his color, I
So
guess.
there, yeah. So there's a former NFL Super Bowl champion who went into JP Morgan Chase and he was trying to invest the money. So he was trying to work with an advisor at JP Morgan to invest his money. And given the fact that he's African American, for some reason, these JP Morgan people at that particular branch were pretty much discriminating him. They were saying that like they had this racial bias against him because he didn't fit the mold of a typical investor just because of the color of his skin, which I find extremely crazy that we're still living in times like that, which it's crazy to I mean sometimes like you think that money talks more like when you go to a bank and you say you want to invest x amount of money like the money like people are like oh yeah let's get this guy but he came to this bank trying to invest I don't know how much money and they like wanted to turn him down and it's like I don't understand why like it's just it's so sad to see things like that happening especially with someone who's successful like I guess they didn't know he was an NFL player but they were just basing it off the color of the skin which is extremely like He was trying to attempt eight. He was trying. Here's what the article says. He was attempting to invest $800,000 at J.P. Morgan Chase, and they wanted to turn him down.
Yeah.
He was trying to become a private
800K.
client with them.
800K. I got
800.
800K to put in
Yeah.
your bank. No, sir, we don't want to
Yeah.
take your money. That's
Yeah.
disgusting. That's just
Yeah.
disgusting. Honestly, I don't. That would not happen in Canada. I'm telling you,
I'll
that would
link
not happen in
the
Canada.
article in the comments.
That must be some type of racist bank or something. Because in Canada, if you got 800 grand, they're rolling out the red carpet. You know what I mean? They'll give you a
Yeah,
hotel
it's
room.
money.
They'll give you some, some spending money at the casino. You know what I mean? Like that. Like I'm mind boggled by it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's just an isolated incident. I'm sure he can go to another bank, and I'm sure they'll take his money. I find it odd that they wouldn't want to take his money, but who knows, right? Everybody has their own way of doing things, but clearly it's a bad decision on the bank's behalf
Yeah.
because that's $800,000 more that they could have had. Maybe they thought he was drug money. Maybe they didn't realize.
That's probably they didn't realize that he was actually an NFL player.
Yeah, maybe he walked in like shorts and a tank top with a briefcase full of 800 grand in cash, and maybe they thought, is this drug money?
No
Like,
thanks. Yeah.
like who knows? But it's sad that is the case. Nobody really knows, but I think most banks will take your money under most normal circumstances. There must be something that isn't being explained for them to feel like, I don't want this guy's money, right? Because I've worked at the bank, and
Maybe the way he presented it, maybe he was
yeah, like banks are not allowed to take fraud money.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to. If there's something that seems odd, like if he's never had that type of money in his account and all of a sudden he shows up with 800 G's and says, I'm ready to do business, sometimes that's just a red flag. And then the banks are told not to take the money because they don't know where it came from and they don't want to have that flag in their system.
Yeah.
Could have been something like that. Because
Probably.
realistically, why would the bank not want to take money from an NFL player if they knew he was an NFL player, if he had good credit with the bank, if the 800 grand was in his checking account and he was working with the bank, they would have taken his money.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. LeBron James is black too, but I'll guarantee you every bank in America will take his money. So is Kobe Bryant, and I'll guarantee you every bank in America will take his money. Guaranteed. Like, look, Kobe Bryant has his own hedge fund, So, I don't know. I think there's got to be something.
This guy's like retired. Like I think he's like much like older. Maybe.
No, but I saw the article. He's 38 years old. Young guy.
I don't know.
He's younger than me.
I don't know.
Right? He's walking into the bank with 800K.
Yeah, 38.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I think that they thought he was a drug dealer.
Well, it says that he had elite status already. Like he had like 250,000 in his account at Chase. So it's weird how.
Yeah, so he had money in his account and he had another 800. It's like you're right. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. I don't know. I can't speak for why that's happening. Anyways, let's change gears. We got like 7 minutes left. Christmas is here. Are you excited? We're 4 days away from Christmas. Are you ready?
I'm ready. It's funny because this year, like, we're not with my family. Like, we're not buying gifts. We're just gonna like go do things together. Like,
oh, that's
we're gonna
good.
go to the movie. Like, we're really just like I just feel like I don't want anything. I don't know what I just feel like I don't know. My mentality has shifted as I get older. Like, I don't want stuff anymore. Like, I just want to like go do something. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I work all the time and I don't have time for myself. I just don't want things. I just want to go like spend time with family and go to movies or go, I don't know, do things. What about you?
You know what? I've been so busy. I haven't even thought about it. I kind of just
Did you do your Christmas shopping?
Yeah, well, with the Christmas shopping,
kids?
like usually like I'm separated, divorced type situation. So my kids get 2 Christmases, which is overkill. So I said this year, forget the 2 Christmases, do it at your mom's house, and I'm just going to split the gifts with your mom, get the kids something bigger, so the kids don't have to have 2 Christmases every year for the rest of their lives, because I just feel like they're milking it at this point. So it's like...
They're living their best lives.
Yeah, like, honestly, I mean, I don't care. I don't. Like, I'm not like, I'm not that big Christmas guy. Some people are. To me, it's another day. honestly. Like, yeah, I'll go do things with my kids. We're gonna go out. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have dinner. They're gonna open up presents, all that stuff. But for me, it's just another day. It really is. I know maybe I'm sounding weird, but I don't buy into all the bullshit of just, hey guys, spend all the money you got. It's Christmas, and now spend 2020 already in debt. Like, it's just too much, man. It's too much. And here in Vancouver, you see it in people's faces, man. You could see it in their faces. They're like shopping with money they don't even got. People look stressed, and it's Christmas, and it's like, man, is that really what it's supposed to be about? So I'm going to be spending my Christmas with my kids, with my friends, with some of my family, with people that matter the most to me. I'm going to be watching football. I'm going to be watching basketball. I'll be watching sports. That's what I love. And I'll be doing videos. I'll be live probably on Christmas Day. Why not? Because this is what I love to do. This is my life. Yeah. And to me, my Christmas gifts to myself were all this gear. All this gear that I got.
Love it.
Yeah, this was my Christmas gifts to myself. And this is what I'm excited about. But, you know, like my kids are 11 and 12 now. They're not like, oh, you know, Santa. They're like, Santa's not real. And I'm like, so then why do we have Christmas? And they're like, oh, you know, we still want Christmas. I'm like, but you just said Santa's not real. So the magic is gone. Right? So I don't know. When you get to this age, it's like, is Santa going to pay? Is Santa going to pay our rent and our mortgage?
Yeah.
Hey, straight up. I mean, I'm just being straight with everybody. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. As a kid, you love Christmas. But as you get older, you look at it different. You don't have kids, so you don't know what it's like. Man. But as a parent,
these gifts for people.
As a parent, it's a whole nother ball game. It's just like a huge spending spree. And it's like every year for years. And after a while, you're just kind of like, you almost get over it. You're like, okay. Because it's just this huge buildup till Christmas Day. And then Christmas Day is amazing. It's like this orgasm, right? And then it's like, and then after that, sorry, wrong word, climax. Same idea, but a different word, climax. It's like the stock market. It's like a climax, right? And then as soon as Christmas Day is done, it's like, oh, guess what? Boxing Day now. Let's go spend more money. So what is it really for?
I just found out what Boxing Day means in the U.S. It means like it's like shopping after Christmas.
Yeah.
I was so confused because my friend was telling me, "Do you guys have Boxing Day?" I was like, "What the hell is Boxing Day? We don't use that in the U.S." I'm like, "You want to go like buy boxing gear? Like what is that?" Yeah, it's like okay, so we just spent all of our money. Now it's the next day. We're gonna spend more money. So let's spend more money. Now it's Boxing Day. Let's spend more money, right? And then after Boxing Day, it's like, now what? So then you got this gap where it's like nobody knows what to do because it's like you're taking down your present. All the presents are gone. The euphoria's gone. Everybody's taking their lights down. And then there's this gap for 5 days, which is really the best time of the year because nobody's working, right? So it's like this best time of the year. Everyone's kind of chilling with their family, their friends, taking time off, rejuvenating, New Year's resolutions, right? And then is the biggest party of them all, New Year's. I like New Year's. Yes, I love New Year's.
Yeah. I love New Year's. Yeah, New Year's is like a party, right? Because it's like, I enjoy that. Because it's not about spending money. It's more about getting together with your friends, your family, and celebrating a new year and just being excited about the future. I like that.
Planning all these new things, like for the new year, like goal setting and like figuring out like what your next move's going to be. Like, yeah, I love the New Year.
Yeah, and that's what I love about New Year's. But the thing I don't like about Christmas, and don't get me wrong, I'm not Scrooge. I like Christmas. I don't like the fact that when it ends, the magic is gone. I love the fact that with New Year's, when it starts, the magic's just starting. Something different about the ending of Christmas that I don't like is it's like, it's this big build-up, and then as soon as it's over, it's like a serious crash. It's like a weird crash that you're just like, oh, I built all this all up, put up trees, presents, dinners, and then it's over and it's like, now what? You know? Whereas with New Year's, it's a nice party. It starts the year and it gives you like the belief of not like something ending, but something actually beginning.
Exactly.
And that's what I like so much about New Year's. So I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and definitely to you and your family and the people that are around you and your loved ones. And to everyone that's watching, I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll definitely try to do this again next week and just try to keep this going. I'm going to also, now that this is our 5th video, I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this on the front page of my channel because now I have 5 videos. This playlist will be on the front page of Rich TV Live. We really want to grow this show. This is the Rich Millennial Show. And do you have anything else you want to say before we play some Christmas music?
Thank you all for watching the entire show, and we had some great conversations, and I hope you guys enjoy the holidays and eat all the yummy food, and thanks for the support.
All right, guys, and I did survive the crash of 2019, the cannabis crash of 2019. Hopefully you did too, and I hope that 2020 brings us all the rewards and success and health and love and happiness that you guys are looking for. And I appreciate all your support in 2019. It means a lot. And Wendy, this has been a lot of fun. This is our 5th video, and I look forward to having a great year in 2020 together. And hopefully we can really grow this show to become something bigger and something better. And hopefully those people that are on TV looking for a new show can look at the Rich Millennial show and say, hey, I like those guys. I like that spirit. Let's put them on TV. I know you're watching. I know you're watching. All right, guys. So we're going out. This is Merry Christmas from us to you and Ill Kid. Have yourselves a great day, and thank you guys for watching.
Bye, guys.
Hey guys, guess
Look,
what?
they're saying, hey, guys.
Come check this out.
Come check this out.
Let's check it out.
Let's check it out. All right, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Shout out to Ill Kid. Living legend.
Let's go. It's that time of year. Go on, put your hands up. Sing it till you can't. This gonna be the anthem. Home for the holidays. Spend it with your family. Roasting up a turkey. All the kids are eating candy. Looking at the mantle. All the stocking tongue just right. We gon' live it up. We gon' really have a fun night. This is really Christmas. Never let your friends miss you. Cause in the end, you can't take this money with you. Presents under trees wrapped up with a big bow. See the smiles on the children. This is what we here for. Papa need a new pair of shoes. Watch me roll the dice. Enjoying every minute. No gimmick. This the fucking life. Sitting by the fire. You know, sipping on a few beers. I'm wishing everybody Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Dancing like you don't care. Feet on the floor. Mistletoe hanging. Plus the wreath on the door. Laughing by the tree. Oh my God, my family killing me. Talking about Santa. How we coming down the chimney. You know, right there on the rooftop. Rudolph got his nose red. Cause he hit the boo shop. Cause I'ma live it up. Doing just right. We're going just right. Cause you know Christmas only one night.
Christmas is only one night. What did I just say?
Don't ever let the magic pass by.
Don't let the magic pass by.
Pass by. Cause this life only meant for one ride. Cause I'ma live it up. Doing just right. We do it just right. Cause you know Christmas only one night. It's only one night. Don't ever let the magic pass by. Don't let it pass by. Cause this life only meant for one ride. Magic in the air, you can feel it through the city. Sipping on some Henny, damn I'm feeling litty. Stars in the sky, what a wonderful life. Because we here right now and I don't wanna die. Just wanna spend every minute right here with my loved ones. Brothers, sisters, you know my cousins. Aunts and uncles, you know the rest. The whole family over, plus some vice and guests. I know sometimes you can really have your day wrong. But here's your cup with some rum, pour some eggnog. We gon' live it up, always feeling glorious. We gon' do it big like the man notorious. I'm wishing that the new year staying prosperous. Lots of wealth, lots of health, that's the obvious. Watch out for the haters in the audience. Fuck the negativity, we staying positive. Cause I'ma live it up, do it just right. We do it just right. Cause you know Christmas only one night. It's only one night. Don't ever let the magic pass by. Don't let it pass by.
Bye, guys.
This life only meant for one ride. Let's go. Cause I'ma live it up, do it just right. We do it just right. Cause you know Christmas only one night.
One night.
It's only one night. Don't ever let the magic pass by. Don't let it pass by. Cause this life only meant for one ride. Ill Kid, Cloud Ninja Beats, y'all. Rich TV Live. From the Rich TV Live family to you. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.